Okay, good afternoon, gentlemen. How are we? Speedy, how you doing, bud? Be careful, guys. It's Friday the 13th. There it is. My daughter's had a bad hair day this morning. She didn't remind me it was Friday the 13th, so it was bound to happen. But there you go. Quite gutted I missed that, actually. I came around about when the market was here, but I'd have 100% taken that. That's the type of trade I like. We have a leg up, two legs of correction, and a higher low, beautiful bullish bar. I'd have expected that to 100% go for that measured move, and it did, and some. It was a slightly larger bar, but even so, on a good setup, it doesn't bother me too much about a large bar. But even if I'd have gone for that measured move, you'd have got 9.5 points there. But as it was going up nice, I'd have probably even followed it up bar by bar. So, hey, Stop Hunter, how you doing? But yeah, I like that type of trade. That type of trade I absolutely love. We had a downtrend down here with a break new low. We had an uptrend, two legs of correction, two lovely legs back, and a higher low. I love them trades. And clearly it went for the points and some. So I'm just waiting for this to come back here, whether we end up possibly getting something bigger. It's a bit early at the moment. It might be a bit too much, actually. Yeah, it is. It's not going to work, I don't think. Possibly, I don't know. I like it when it comes to this, but that's probably too far. But yeah, it is possible. It's possible we're going to maybe have something like that. We'll soon find out here when we get back to this EMA, but just for now, let's leave it. So yeah, Friday the 13th. Hey, what's how you doing, fella? Friday the 13th, yeah. So if you believe in all that mumbo jumbo, just be careful. Just be careful today. So news-wise, we have got some at 3 PM UK time. So probably best I put a note on the screen. Time is it? 1500 UK time. UK time. Okay. Okay. 3 PM that is. So let's pop that up here out of the way so we can see it, but it's not in our way. Kevin, how you doing? So day 2 on this PA, with the first time I've ever reduced my contract to 1. So I'm going to try and slowly build that and go for a few more points as well when the time's right. If I'd have been in that trade, I'd have 100% got in that, and I would have let it go as well, and it clearly would have worked nice. So even if I'd have put it that measured move, there'd have been over 9 points comfortably there. And that type of measured move, I'd have put it there because obviously we got the potential to go in here. Obviously in that case, it obviously went a little higher, but I'm quite happy. If I could have got 9 points out of that, I'd have been over the moon. But that's the type of trade that will do those, play those measured legs out, and usually really well. I love them. Leg up, two legs of correction, high low. And just by the way that went up beautifully, you can tell that there was some traders who got into that area because it was just such a nice starting point. Sometimes we don't get a nice bar there. I have got the 1,000 tick above my head. Have a look, and sometimes you get more detail on the 1,000 tick. But we had the same thing up there, two legs of correction, but we didn't even really have a better bar there. See, so I wouldn't have even taken that on the 1,000 tick. But an absolute lovely bar. It was 5 points, so it was rather large a risk. But my principle is that if I see a trade that I absolutely love, it doesn't worry me too much. Because trades like that just don't fail unless maybe we're at the top of a range and you've misunderstood something. But there's a leg down there, break new low. So we know the tops are up here, overnight highs up here. So I think the chance of getting up there is pretty good, especially after that with that push up. And obviously the measured move took us to there, which was comfortably below those highs, so I'd have been out for 9.5 points there. And that would have set me up for the day. Well, set me up for the week, actually. So there you go. Okay, market is about 30 seconds away from opening. So whether we're going to bounce here and push up, maybe we are going to get a sort of a big sort of rally. We had quite a really, well, that was a decent sized drop yesterday. What was that? So that was a 60-point drop. Pretty quickly as well. Within, what was that? 5, say 5:15, 6, 7 o'clock. About an hour and a half straight down, more or less. That was quite steep, that. So, interesting to see. Okay, market is just opened. So are we going to push up? Certainly looking like it. So, are we getting any type of... Sometimes I like going from the tops. There is a possibility of something like that. Yeah, I kind of like that. Let's go from there, touch there. So that's just our first pull up. Yeah, I kind of like that. So that measured move can go now. That's played out. So push up. No real setup there. And in all fairness, you don't know whether it might just push up and nick these highs and come back down. But it is looking kind of bullish. So overnight highs, overnight lows there. So from around about 11:30 UK time, so for the last 3 hours, we've been working up. And that is nice and strong. ATR's coming down. It was quite large around here, so that's a good sign. So maybe we might have a decent move up. Let's have a look. Let me just check. Okay, my only slight concern there, it's hit 3 times there. Having said that, it almost looked like it was topping out there, didn't it? And it pushed up. So if we can get a decent bar, I may take it, but it has had a triple top there, so there is a possibility that let's have a look. Okay, we'll keep an eye on that news. We've got about 28 minutes, so we're okay yet. So if that ends up bullish, I might look for a higher low. I never tend to take that first one anymore. I always wait, just for confirmation. My only slight concern is the top seem to be here, and we're pulling away a little bit, so that could be a bit risky. I'll have to see how this forms. But what I do like is it's hit that 3 times, which I think is a good sign. But I'm not going to take this first one. You could call that a second entry long. It's not a very great setup. That you maybe a hidden second entry long. It's certainly working off this, but it's only really the second time, so I'm going to hold a little bit, wait for a higher low. But my slight concern is that we've come away from there. Does it make a difference? Maybe not. But you could get trapped here. Let's see how this works. Yeah, I tend to not take that first one unless it's an absolute obvious one. See, that straight away is concerning me. Okay, we're still in at the moment. Maybe we're going to trap some shorts. So if you took that one, your stop is about to get hit. Yeah, there. Now let's see what happens. Okay, so I'm starting to see a little bit of congestion here, so I'm taking caution there. Now I do expect it to push up a little bit more, maybe to these tops, but it's got to be a damn good bar to get me in there, because you just don't know. It might continue sideways for a bit, and if it's a weak position, it's probably going to take you. So I'm just going to keep an eye on that. Now, I wonder whether at some point we could incorporate this down the bottom. Oh, don't do that to me. I hate that. Let's have a little look. Is there a possibility that that may fit? It's very possible. Actually, I actually like that. So we've touched here, touched here, touched here. Fits nice along the backside. I like that. It visually looks nice for me. So we've got a touch down here at the overnight lows. We've got a touch there, a touch there. It's fitting really nice. You can see where it's holding right on that line there, and same there. We've got a leg down there, a little bit of side. So we can get another leg down there, then we could get a decent push there. And there is a possibility as well, if we can get down here with a second leg, that there's going to be two legs up there, maybe from here. So we've got a leg down. If we can get another leg down there and start pushing up, we could get a really good move here. That's looking nice. I like that. So we had that big drop yesterday, didn't we? So there is a fair chance we could take a lot of that back. Hey, how you doing, bud? How you doing? So let's see how we get on here. Now, they always concern me because it's off here and it's still in that sideways stuff. So I'm going to leave that alone. One leg, two legs. There is two legs, but that second leg's a little bit lower. So I'm just going to sit tight and not take this one. It may work, but I'm just a little concerned that we get a leg sideways and a leg and we come down to here and take out that stop. So I'm just going to sit tight here. Something's telling me just be a little bit careful. Trouble is, you have these conflicting thoughts sometimes, don't you? One minute you're thinking looks very bullish, but sometimes the way it's bullish can get you into a trade a little bit too soon. See what I mean? We've got a leg down sideways. It could continue side until we come down to here, so I think that's going to get stopped out. I do. I hope I'm wrong, but we've got all this area we can come into, see, so that's a weak position for me. So yeah, that's stopped out by a tick. It is tempting. You may call that 1, 2 triple test and push up, but we've got this area here which is vacant, haven't we? And if it comes down here and sits nice on here, we've got a leg down and a leg down, and I'm looking for longs around here. Touch, 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 fitting really nicely there. So, and if we can get in a good strong position here, we could get a good runner here. Okay, that is as far as I'm prepared to drop that, because it still fits there nice. So let's have a wee look here. Inside bar, so I'm not taking that first one. So if we can get a higher low here. Okay, leg. Is it worth taking that bar? It's an inside bar, but I kind of like it. So if we can get a higher low. Yeah, if you can get a strong bar off there, it'll take off, and unfortunately, I think that's it. Come on, give us a higher low.
Order submitted.
Leg. I really like that. It's an inside bar, which makes it slightly more... let's see if this triggers. I prefer that to come down a little bit further.
Order submitted.
High or low there off there.
Order filled.
Worth the risk, I think.
Order cancelled.
Push up, high or low. I like that. Leg down, leg down. I'm going to let this go, I think, because I really like it. Not a massive risk. 2.25 points, I think. Hopefully we might trap that short. If we can get above that short, I'm seeing a nice push up there. So it's a 2-point risk, isn't it? 2-point risk, something like that. That signal bar wasn't too bad. Hold on a minute. Oh, I took that on the engulfing, yeah? It triggered that and I took it on the engulfing. So for me, that was a good trade. So I like that. I really like that. Do I just get out for a couple of hundred here, or do I... Yeah, let's just get out for a nice start here.
Target filled.
Okay, happy days. That's a nice start. Now, I think that could go all the way. But at the moment, I'm trying to build this account. I'm going nice and steady. But I absolutely love that for the engulfing. That's a beauty for me. And I'll tell you why. We've clearly got a range. We touch. That one touched. Absolutely beautiful. Twice. Pushed up. We hit the top of that range. There's 2 weak shorts. And both of those have triggered. And that pushed up. Once it pushed above those, that for me was going up. So I thought that was an absolute beauty to take as a an engulfing bar. So a higher low, as it triggered there, it pushed up lovely and strongly, took out stops there, and there. So that for me was an absolute perler. And I think that's going to go right the way up. Now, should I have held on? Maybe. But I've just got, what, $237 on one contract, so that's good for me. But just the context for me, I'm gutting away because I think maybe I should put it there and hold on, but we may come back and retest this. Now, after that good push, I'd rather just grab on the money. So but that for me is an absolute beauty. Let's put that there. There's a short there triggered, so that might continue up, but how many points did I get there? So what's that? 4.5. So 4.75 points. So I'm pleased with that. Is that right? Is it? Yeah, 4.75 points. And I came out there. I could have took a bit more actually, maybe another 1.5, 2 points. But sometimes you just never know, do you? But my only slight concern is we have something like that. It comes back and retests there and pushes high. So there may be an opportunity to get it again. But was it 4.25? Did I say? 4.5, 4.75. Happy days. 4.75. Beautiful. I like that. That's a good sign. I thought we'd come down and retest somewhere there, so maybe we get 2 legs back. Something very similar to there. See, we had that push up, 2 legs back, higher low continued, push up, 2 legs back, higher low continued. There's a first leg. This just, it looks quite a nice market, a nice price action start. It's quite predictable at the moment, especially after that initial one there. I'm so gutted I missed that. That one was even nicer than that one for me, but thanks, Kev. I appreciate that. You got 3 points on there. Good on your road. Yeah, that for me, I don't mind taking stuff like that on an engulfing because you can see what it is. 1 leg down, 2 legs down. Look where it finished. I put that line there to fit into there, and it touches there, touches on that bar, touches there, touches there, touches there. It's perfect. And where did it come back and hit twice? Once, twice. That was an inside bar, so I didn't take it. But we had a nice strong bar there. 2 really weak shorts. That triggered below there. I put me in golf and it went straight up, broke through it. And not only did it break through it, it took out that stop and that stop. So whether the people may have thought, oh, triple test there, let's go short, and you're in that trade, or maybe a lower high. It depends how you're looking at this. See, so we may get another trade here if we're lucky.
Order submitted.
Let's have a look. I'll never take this first one unless it's obvious. My only slight issue with that is this is at the top of our channel and we haven't come far enough. Now, that might not mean nothing, but I always give it chance to push up once and then, yeah, because you just never know, see.
Order cancelled.
So I'm quite glad I got out of that because you just don't know. Sometimes it's worth holding on, but what I'd have probably done after that big bar, I'd have probably gone up. I am a kind of believer in waiting for a bar to finish, for that to finish, and then when that starts, put it there and then put it there. I think that's a good way of following it up. That way, at least you're guaranteeing yourself something. I see so many. I see what's it doing it quite a lot, and it infuriates me. Thomas Wade does that. He'll put it here, he'll let his runner go up maybe 4, 5, or 6 points, and he'll come down and stop him out, and he hasn't moved it. And it's a shame, really, to see those 4 or 5 points and not at least to get something. And not only that, he puts it to break even, so he's actually lost on that trade because he's got to pay the commissions. You've got to get something. The trouble is with Thomas, it's not a bad thing. He likes to get a really big move. Well, the trouble is, if you lose 3, 5, or 6 point moves, that's a 15 or 16 point move in itself. So use in a few minutes. Yeah, good point. Good point. Maybe we get... Yeah, like I say, the only slight issue is we got this news. There is a possibility. It is a leg and a leg. Maybe we get a higher low. Just got to be careful with the news because the slight concern is we get a higher low and then we start doing that. Now, whenever I see that type of thing, there's a possibility for the start of a range. Have you noticed we're getting a flat bit there and a flat bit there, and we've got the news coming up. So it's just a picture I see now and again, which... So we got 1, 2, 3 touches there, 1, 2, 3, 4 touches there. So there is a possibility with the news, there might not be a huge amount of buyers here, especially as we've come that far back from there. And would you want a short here? Not yet, really, because you may expect it to come up here. So, in that's the case, I think we may get a little bit of sideways here, especially with the news pending. Gutted, I missed that. I will say, when you reduce your contract size from 2 to 1, it really does reduce the stress. I'm not really notice anything. Sometimes I get that feeling in your guts when you're in a trade, but I'm not getting it at the moment, which seems a bit unusual, but I suppose that's what happens when you reduce risk. The more risk, more chance you've got of losing and failing. Stands to reason it's going to elevate your stress levels to a degree. I had a message, I think this morning, from a guy. Something he'd seen, something called Guardian Angel. Guardian Trader. Let me see if I can find the message. Is it a message or an email? Okay, yeah. Okay. Guardian Angel. Guardian Angel Trader, it's called. I had a quick look this morning, and it's an add-on you can get for your software which gives you some protections. It gives you notifications when you draw down. There's a bunch of, you can get it to give you alarms and notifications. It just helps protect you a bit. So something I'm going to look into there. Right, there is a higher low there. The slight concern is that we've got the news in just over 8 minutes, so it could trigger you, and it could still go sideways. Nothing worse than being stuck in a trade with the news about to happen. So, but ordinarily, would I have taken that one? Yeah, I would have done. After a break, there's enough room to the highs there. Let's just see if it would have worked. But I'm not getting in just for the fact of the news. But the trade, I think, is okay. It's closed outside here, but like I say, there's the news, so you just don't know what people are thinking. Is that going to increase buyers? Maybe not. So it just makes that trade a little bit more risky. Trouble is, when you get the news, it often goes a bit sideways, and there's often traps. So it just looks like that one's going to get taken out, I think. Sometimes I'll do that. You watch these bars sometimes. When the numbers are high, it'll push down and push down. As the numbers start to run out, it starts to increase the opposite direction then. But possible second entry long, yeah. So I didn't take that one. We got the news. You just don't know what's going on. It might continue sideways. It's a little bit far from the EMA as well. But, you know, I do think we're likely to go up. But I'm just staying out at the moment. I'm getting into trades too soon. I had a loss before getting into the higher low there. Probably fear of missing out. I don't know. Yeah. There's a lot of emotions you go through, Kev. Sometimes it's hard to understand them, but I'm trying to. I've had periods over the last few years where I've looked into psychology. And I'm trying to do a little bit more. I tend to use it as my bedtime. Well, I say bedtime reading. It's maybe a lot of YouTube stuff. And there is something I'm starting to read a lot about, and it's having little notes maybe around your PC to do things like a self-assessment. Because what I find when I'm trading, I almost like go into tunnel vision. Now, you know, if I'm almost like speeding down the motorway in the fast lane, and I'm not, you know, I'm just focusing on, you know, straight ahead. I'm not looking what's around me, and sometimes you can get yourself into sticky situations without really thinking, because there's a certain amount of autopilot there. You're focused. There's motions involved, and this guy had a note on his computer, just like a little sticky note. And he does this self-assessment, and every time he looks at it, he takes his self-assessment, but he does it, you know, like every sort of 5 minutes. And what it basically is, it's just stopping what you're looking at and just thinking, how do I feel? What's my emotions levels like? Am I grinding my teeth? Do I feel stiff? And it's just trading more aware. Because I've felt sometimes that autopilot thing, and it's odd, but I think it is important to be aware And I have watched videos that talk about sort of just being more aware of what you're doing, being more in the moment. And I suppose it's they talk a lot about meditation. It's being in the moment. It's being aware of what's going on and how you feel now, because we spend most of our time on autopilot, don't we? I was reading something the other day. We get up in the morning, we get out of bed, we go and brush our teeth. We do the same things automatically like a robot every single day. And so much of the day we're not even really aware of because we're doing it automatically. There's very little planning there. We've been doing it that long, a certain way, and you get out of bed the same way. Does anybody use the same cup? There's a certain cup I like, a certain shaped cup I like. There's a certain shaped teaspoon I like to do my teas. We do all these little things on autopilot and we're missing chunks of the day. Is anybody driving and they're on a trip somewhere and they've passed a round and they're not sure whether, have I gone past that roundabout or not? I used to do it all the time, drive past roundabouts and can't even remember doing it because we spend so much of our time, and that's the sort of thing we're trading. We're on autopilot. And if we've got ourselves into some bad habits, those bad habits sort of become automatic. So it's trying to be more aware and trying to think a little bit more about what you're doing. And I think that self-assessment thing, you have a little check and you sort of bring yourself back into reality. There's all sorts of stuff out there to do and try. I don't know what works, whether it works. I certainly think it's something we all have to sort of look into. But so this news, where are we? We're about 3.5 minutes off. So that one would have got stopped out. That one would have worked for a couple of points, that one. But you can see it's a bit sideways there. It's a bit sideways there. So there's no one really buying or getting in there. It is moving up, but not as comfortably as I thought it might do. But yeah, it is very easy to get into bad habits, isn't it? And to just do them without thinking about it. Sometimes you see the market going up and you buy, and it's like, what the hell am I doing? So 3 minutes, I'm going to put that there. So you wonder now whether we're no. I'm pleased with that first trade anyway. Nice, nearly 5 points there. So that's a nice start, that is. I really like that. I loved it because we had a leg back and a leg back. Twice we bounced off there. Now, unfortunately, that was an inside bar. I rarely take that first bar. I wait for a higher low. We pushed up nice and strong. And we had two really weak shorts there, which both triggered. So I put my order right above there. So as far as I'm concerned, when that goes and triggers that, that's a higher low. After this, taking out a load of stops. So for me, that was a great entry, that one. There'd be quite a few people taking shorts there, see? The bigger picture for me is this, but they might have had that there and had a break. Trying to go high, trying to go high, trying to go, okay, let's get in short there, let's get in short there. And all of a sudden, once it breaks over there, comes back a little bit and off it goes. And fell breakout. It looks like they may have even got some shorts in there. There's a second entry short there. Maybe people thinking short. What happens? It triggers, it pushes up really strongly. So for me, there's a bigger picture there, not just a channel there with a break in a new high and a bit of sideways, maybe bouncing off the top of a possible range before we come down. Okay, just over a minute now. This news is coming out. So. Got that green bar that crossed the EMA, that one there, Kev, yeah. I can probably tell you what you were thinking there. You were thinking, we've had two legs back, it's going to take off and I want to get something. So I'm guessing you probably got in here, didn't you? Because so many times we see these massive big moves and they go without us and you're itching to pull the trigger, aren't you? You're itching to get in. No, 14.35. Oh, that one there, you got in on that one, did you? Let's have a look. So I really like that. It fits really nice there. Touch, just fits beautifully there for me. Leg back. That's just before at 14:35. So around about here. Oh, you got on that one, did you? Oh, you got on that one. Do you know, I looked at that one and I'll tell you why I didn't take it, although there's 2 legs back, because there's this vacant area. Yeah, there's this vacant area there. Always be cautious of them. And I know that because I've taken them multiple times before. If there's a possible range here, always wait for it to get, always wait for it to get back. And then I never take that first. On the odd occasion I do, but it was an inside bar, so I left it. And when that did that, trigger below there for me, that was it. But yeah. I know exactly what you did there. I can see exactly what you did. It is a leg and it is a leg. But the good thing is, mate, you've learnt a really good lesson there, because those types of lessons really make you be cautious next time. And once you've had that happen a few times, you start to just wait. And if you wait long enough and you're patient, you get your rewards. But yeah, you can see why a lot of traders got in that leg down. But you know, if you look at Mac and he draws these channels, these big ones from there, and always off the next swing, which is here, and it touches beautifully. So for me, the only trade I'm going to get involved in is something that comes back, bangs back there. But I could see that there was a leg, and another leg would take us down to here, which is. But I've done that so many times. But the good thing is, mate, you've done what you need to do. You've made a mistake and learnt from it, and that's the best thing. That's the best way to learn. Don't look upon it as a failure. Look upon it as a useful little notch in your brain. So next time something, you know, I find I just look at a trade now and I either want to take it or I don't, because you get used to seeing these patterns and the way this shapes, and it almost literally clocks thousands of little pictures in your brain. And if you like the picture, you'll take the trade. If you don't like the picture, you won't. Now, I remember saying that. I'm not taking that because we've got this big vacant area down here. And the better picture for me was this. And when that happened, when that trigger below, it was, trigger the shit, yeah. Use those mistakes as lessons. Take value from them, because there's a lot of value, because that's how you learn. Lots of little failures, but every time you do, you'll notice that picture next time. So when you see that dropping sideways, and maybe a small drop, for me, I can see it's almost egging you in, isn't it? And the market's very efficient at making money. But yeah, sometimes you just got to wait that little bit longer, and you know, sometimes it goes without you, and it is frustrating. But sooner or later, it doesn't bother me now letting trades go. So if I didn't get that, I'd have left it. But when it triggered below there after those, and with all these stops here, and there will be a couple, for me, my trade was going to go above there. I was going to take it in the safest place that I knew once it broke above there, and then obviously it worked out nicely. So, news, little bit of a drop, mostly recovery, so nothing terrible. But are we now coming down? So we got that leg down, we got to push up. So we can get rid of that now. God, it's miserable where I am today. Absolutely horrendous. Just rain all day. Rain all day yesterday. God, I'll tell you something, we're never going to run out of water in the UK, that's for certain. And I bet there's a lot of you out there sat in basking sun at the moment, isn't there? There does seem to be a bit of support around there. You can see it there. We broke through it, and there as well. So leg down, maybe 2 attempts to go higher. Maybe coming down some more, possible. Yeah, so it's a bit It's a bit hard to make a decision here because we've had this strong channel, we've had a break. You'd normally make a new high, but obviously the news created a little bit of a drop there of about 10 points. So there is a possibility leg down, 2 attempts to go high. We may come down. It depends here. Opening price level. Let's have a look. Where do we open here, bud? Oh, you're on about the official opening, which is around about here, isn't it? Somewhere here, somewhere around there. Leg down, 2 attempts to go higher. I'd like to see that trigger the higher low and then come down. There is a higher low, but it's under the EMA. EMA is facing down at the moment, so that may be a trap where you have the line more or less. Yeah. Yeah, of course. So let's see if that triggers that higher low. I have a feeling we're coming down here. We were pushing up. We hadn't quite made the high, but that would have played that out. So I have a feeling this may end up being a bit of a range day. Well, I think we may come back into the range. Let's have a look. Let's just put that there for now. We've touched 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times there. So I have a feeling this is a range. We're certainly ranging here once we're above there. Down, but we've got a leg down. 2 attempts to go higher. I'd like to see something trigger above here before we come down, but I think we'll come down. Maybe this will trigger. There's a failed second entry short there, but for me, this is starting to look a bit bearish now. We've come up to this high anyway, and obviously the news has sent it down. So for me, I think we're coming down a bit here. Also looks like a bull flag. Yeah, trouble is with that news. Yeah, I'd say we're coming down. This is looking more of a range to me now. One could possibly be a triple test, 1, 2, 3, but this is looking, EMA's facing down. We're making lower highs at the moment, so I can't take a long at the moment. I wouldn't take a short at the moment. So for me, this is possibly going sideways, possibly coming down into a range. I'm just wondering whether it's lost its bullish momentum. We had a break and it pushed up a little bit sideways. Obviously the news brought it down, but for me this is coming down. Well, there you go. So this is looking more like a range now. Okay, so maybe bouncing off those overnight highs, maybe retest the bottom of this, but I think we're coming down. INQ chart is super choppy. Yeah, it is here, to be fair. It is quite weird if you watch the NQ and then watch the ES, and it's almost like what the ES is copying everything the NQ is doing. Okay, pull down, come back, retest this, go lower some more. I can't see it pushing back up personally. I think we're going to continue down. This to me just looks like it's retesting this. Second entry short would be nice there. I'm still not taking a trade at the moment because I'm not. For me, it's looking like it's coming down, but I'm not confident enough to trade short just yet. Let's see if we do get a second entry short there. The trouble is, it's on this line, see, so it could trap you. But that's tempting. That's very tempting. I think I need to take that.
Order submitted.
Okay, bars now.
Order
Kind of glad,
cancelled.
actually. I didn't really want to. Touch. I mean, it is. We are making lower lows. There's no argument there. But the trouble is, there's support and resistance around here now. It could trigger you and just come up and nick you. So anybody else be kind of glad when a bar turns naff. You feel obliged to take it. You know, I read somewhere, and I watched a video about this guy, and he was saying some people get a fear of trading, and what you need to do is, if you see a trade and you like the trade, you have to go for it. And yeah, sometimes it's going to lose, but you follow your rules, and you see a trade, you got to go for it. Because I did go for a bit of a stage where I was getting a bit scared to pull the trigger. I'd take one trade for the day, and I thought, that's it. I don't want to take another one just in case. And sometimes I let a couple of really good trades go by, which is a shame, really. Okay, so the bar was naff anyway, but it did look like it made a couple of attempts to go higher, and you know, it's I can't see it going any higher now. I can see it's coming down a little bit. We have been bouncing around that a few times around the overnight highs there, but I think we're going to continue down now. So it's starting to look more like a range for me. We are making lower lows. So I think we've lost our sort of upward stuff, maybe that news. But if you look, we sort of had a break and we pushed up a little, and we weren't rocketing up, were we? Trade the 200 EMA. I have a better understanding what is happening. Yeah. It is a little choppy, but we are slowly working down, although a little bit choppy. I like it when we work down or up, and that's all good and well, but if you notice, we're here, then we're out here, then we're out here, and then the back end doesn't really fit. It's a bit weird, so that makes the downtrend, there's definitely working down, but it makes it just that little bit uncertain, doesn't it? Yeah, we're still coming down. I thought there may be a second entry short there. Bar was naff. Maybe a second entry short there. No bar. Second entry short there. Bar was naff. But yeah, it is starting to look more like a range now, isn't it? So let's see what happens when we get back to this centre line, which is, well, just above the centre line, which is... I don't mind bringing this in now and again, because it's interesting just to see where it finishes. We're right around that 50% line there. So we're literally a couple of ticks away from it. So you'd be interesting to see. So that's like hit that. That can come down actually a tiny fraction. And look at that, it's just hit that and gone up. So is that going to make it, is that just random? Possibly. Is that random? It might be, because we are coming down, then pulling back up. Coming down, pulling back up. So at least we know that's a tick above that 50% line. Can you please explain how you use that Fibonacci? I tend to not use it really. I used to use it in trading currency really, but a lot of times when it's just sort of like a mathematical calculation that some traders use. It's a lot to do with sort of, isn't it, the golden ratio and all that sort of thing, how we see things, where people see things go. But I know a lot of, as I said, I don't use it, but occasionally I'll bring it in just out of curiosity. A lot of the times where we have these moves up, it'll pull back so much, and traders like to see it pull back to a certain area before they consider getting back in. I know when I used to trade with cryptocurrency, we used to trade this, what do we used to call it? 61.8. I can't remember. Something retracements, 61.18. I can't remember anyway. It was just a certain. But yeah, some traders like to, you know, if we get sort of like a bullish pattern off here, off this 50%, it helps traders, you know, make decisions on maybe we're pushing back up at the moment, but. You can see it stalling around there, so I just take it out there, put it on just out of curiosity to see if we do push up there. But a lot of traders will use it to maybe put orders in. We've got a nice strong leg up, maybe a couple of legs back, and we bounce off this 50% and it starts to look bullish. Traders might, you know, but that's generally how it works. Some people trade off this line, some people trade off the 61.8 line. As I say, I know very little about it, but it's this Fibonacci. You've all heard the Fibonacci sequence, haven't you? It's just a mathematical calculation, and it's just where people feel comfortable or like take trades. I think most of you heard it, haven't you? It was, what was it famously on? The Da Vinci Code, wasn't it? Fibonacci, what was in here? 17th century Italian mathematician or something, wasn't he? I don't know. It's been a while since I've had a history lesson, but I just put it out there just out of curiosity. But it does look like it's finding some sort of area resistance. Having said that, we've got the middle line of this range here, so it just might be a place, if you're thinking about going short there, after we've had this downtrend, it just might say just be a little bit cautious. It doesn't mean it's not going to work, but I just randomly get it out there just out of curiosity, but it's not something I follow, as in it wouldn't influence a trade. So whether it makes a difference or not, I don't know, personally. But some people swear by it. There's all sorts of different indicators out there that people use that help them get into. What I like about this price action, it's sort of the rawest form of trading. The only indicator we use is this exponential moving average. which sort of acts like a magnet, really. It's a great place to trade. But look, as it pulls away, it comes back to it. Pulls away, it comes back to it. It's sort of like an elastic band, isn't it? It keeps coming back to it. So in a downtrend, this is the type of area you're looking to go short again, because obviously we come down, we come back. What do we do? A little bit of sideways here, we came down again, pushed up, a little bit of sideways, came down again. We come down, seem to hit a point, come back up, a little bit of sideways. But that's the only real indicator we use. The rest are just a few drawing tools. Learned about Fibonacci in high school maths class. Yeah, wasn't he an Italian mathematician or something? He came out with that code, wasn't it? It was like it was actually quite, wasn't it like 1, 2, 3, 5, 9? You just add the previous number and the next number, that gives you the one after. It's actually really simple when you think about it. But I think a lot of it's to do with what they call the golden ratio, isn't it? How people see things, where people are comfortable making decisions. Another thing, people are comfortable making decisions around even numbers as well. Yeah, it was a series, yeah. Around even numbers, these areas like the 400s and the 300s tend to play a good part. If you're going long here and you're thinking, I'm going to put me order up here, where am I going to put me take profit? These round numbers seem to play a part. It's just where people feel confident. People identify certain areas, but if you look at that there, you can see there, can't you? Whether that's the reason why or not, I don't know. But round numbers seem to make a difference. But it's just about the perception of, I don't know, human beings, the way they perceive things and how they make decisions. Certain patterns, certain things look right. But look what's happened there. Whether that's to do with the 50% retracement after this, or whether it's to the midline, I don't know. I know. Fibs are good for retracements. I never trade off them. But good for extra. Absolutely, yeah. 50 to 60.1, yeah. But I put it out there it's just out of boredom. I'm just putting it out to see where it goes. And funnily enough, but there is the midline there, so perhaps that sort of is the 50% of this, isn't it? If you go from the bottom to the top, it's slightly off because obviously we've got a little bit of a push up there, but I put that the fib tool right to the top there and right to the bottom, and it gave us a 50% right to the nearest tick. I think it was a tick off. So maybe that's, I don't know, where we're going to push up. Who knows? See, maybe there is a channel down here. There's probably something, but I would say it may be something like that. I don't like that big thing sticking out if we go at the top, but maybe this is a break. So would you want to go short here? Because, you might have just thought to yourself, hold on a minute, we've struggled to get through that area because that's the 50% retracement. So we've bounced and pushed up. So do I really want to go short and lower high here? So these things, sometimes they help you make decisions. Sometimes, they stop you, keep you out of trades. I just pop these things on just out of curiosity. So channel down there. Usually when we get a break out of our channel, we make a new extreme, in this case a new low. But are we pushing up now because we've had this or not? Okay. Possible lower high there. I'm just not short around here. EMA's just gone very flat. That could possibly be a trap. It is still a little choppy. I'm not, although I kind of like the way that's working, I'm not a massive fan of this because you don't know whether this is a bit of a range and this is a bit of a failed breakout and we're going to push in. Not only that, I know we've either bounced off the middle line or the 50% retracement, so it might work, but I'm quite happy staying out of it. It's not a really clear picture for me. I've had a good start to the day, so I want something to be really obvious. Another leg up incoming. Yeah, it's hard to say, isn't it? So I'm just not a fan of that channel. If the channel was more clear, well, maybe it's not too bad. I don't know. Well, it's clearly worked anyway. So if you did take that, sometimes these setups just work all the time. And other times it triggers you and pushes up and then goes sideways and then shoots up, shoots down. It just, I'm just getting a feeling it might start into one of those a little bit choppy days. So some people say Fridays can get a bit like that. But if you'd have taken that, a lower high break, expecting a new extreme, it worked. So is it a bad trade? I think so. It's just a little bit choppy for me, so I'm just a bit extra cautious. I've had 4.5 points or 4.75 points for the day, so that's a great result for me. Traded on a contract, so I don't want to chuck any that way. So I'm in an overprotection mode now. So I want to see something that literally jumps in front of me and waves at me before I take anything else. I always like to end green on a Friday. It just makes the weekend so much more relaxing. Not sure about that just yet. Okay, so we've made a new extreme there. After that channel, we've had a break lower high, so that didn't work out nice. Looks like a break in a new low, yeah, break in a new low. So are we carrying on down? Oh, I don't know. Going to take a lot for me to take a trade at the moment, but channel down, break, new extreme. So that lower high did work. It's just looking a bit too choppy for me, and I'm just exercising a bit of caution. If I wouldn't have taken a trade, I may have taken it, but I've had a really good result so far, so I'm on super go careful mode. No mid-morning chart from Mac today, is there? Okay, so it did hit that bang on, didn't it? That 50%, it came down and hit it again. So ironically, that actually might land right on it. Let's put that there. Oh no, we actually we got through it. We did, didn't we? Yeah, we're definitely holding there. Okay, excuse me just for 1 minute. I'm just going to have a quick bathroom break. Okay. Let me have a look. Let me see. There is the possibility of a bigger channel. Just kill that color because it is a possibility. Let me change that one. So touch, touch, touch. Yeah, well, the reason I like it is because once we can, it's not something I'm going to trade now, but if we do continue down, we're pushing up and we're coming down. So it's a possibility. But we are struggling to get below this centre line, so I am cautious about taking a trade here. As I say, it needs to be a damn good one to get me in, because when I'm up green, there's nothing more painful than losing money when you've made it. It's much more painful than just starting off with one losing trade. There's nothing worse than making money and then giving some of it back. So I just get super cautious, which is a good thing. And I tend to just be really worried about what I get into. So what I am seeing at the moment is it's struggling to get through this midline. So whether you call it the midline or the 50% or whatever, but it is struggling to get through. So I ain't taking a trade short here until we get through it, really. Possible second entry short there if it forms, but as I say, it's going a bit sideways for me, so... Oh, just put it there for a minute. Yeah. So straight away, if that is valid, we've already had a break. So what I tend to do, if I think there's a channel, I'll just put the lines there and take away the colour until I'm confident that it is a channel. Now, yeah, it's touched 3 times, but it doesn't always mean it's a channel. It looks like a channel for me with a break and sideways. Aye. Okay, what is going on here? Okay, it's clearly struggled to get through there, so whether there is a push-up, a 50% retracement, and then maybe up some more, who knows? Anything's possible. Okay, little fell break out there. We took the bull bar off a triple bottom for 4 points. That one there. Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to know what we're doing here. Clearly bouncing off there. Does that mean we're not going to get through it? Not necessarily. We might just need a bigger run-up. Or is there something larger in the works? It's possible. If we push up here and get something, I think it's likely. Let's see how far this gets down. So far we've come up, we've gone down. We've come up halfway. That's a possibility anyway. So we've had a leg down, we've had a break. We've made 2 attempts to go lower and pushed up quite strongly. Okay, so leg down, break. 2 more attempts to go lower and pushed up. So yeah, there is a possibility we could continue up. But it is sideways, so you never quite know. Okay, that's blown that theory. Excuse me a sec. Okay. Right. I'm going to channel down. I'm going to break. New low. Down, up, down. So I don't know what's going on here. We have tried multiple times to get through this. This is the 4th time, so Let's see how we get on. Maybe we get through this time. Oh, that's looking positive. Leg down, 2 attempts to go higher. Okay, that to me is looking like a leg down. The bigger picture, sometimes when you zoom out, the bigger picture is we've got a leg down. We made 2 attempts to go higher. That for me is a type of trade that the penguin guy would take to clear big pushes up. First push up, these 2 I don't count, and a second big push up. I'm guessing the penguin guy would have taken a short around about there. That would have been his stop, and he'd have been out now. So yeah, leg down, 2 proper attempts to go higher, failed and came back down. So let's just get another channel going here. Interesting. I was wondering if anyone would have gone long there. I'd say if you've gone long there, you're going to get stopped out pronto. Weak long position, that. It is a second entry long, but it's right in the middle of this channel. I took that bull bar off triple test. Not that one. That one, didn't you? Yeah. I was going to say you wouldn't have got 4 points out of that. You would have got a couple of ticks, I think. Interesting. Possible second entry short there. Do I want to go short there? Not a fan. See, sometimes when you get a breakout, you get one the opposite side. Kind of glad that finished naff. So we've got a channel down, a break. Are we going to continue down? I think it's quite possible. Do I take a trade there? It's tempting. It is testing it, isn't it? It's not a terrible bar. It's not the best one in the world. That's not looking good. If you went short there, you might be okay. It's just, it's not a fantastic signal bar. Looks more like one leg up. There's your second leg. Yeah, that stop's going to get taken out for sure. Surely. I'll be amazed if it doesn't. You're up A plus. You're up A plus. I'm not sure what you mean there, bud. You're up A plus only. Have I read that right? Yeah, it's just a bit caution around here. It's looking a bit congested. I'll be surprised if that stop holds. I mean, you're up for the day. Take it. Oh, absolutely. Oh, I'm only looking at it. There's no way I'm trading that, mate. Don't worry about that. No. Yeah, I'm quite happy not taking another trade, in all fairness. I'm up just short of 5 points for the day, so as far as I'm concerned, if you can give me 5 points every single day, I'd be the happiest bloke alive. Oh, shit. Yeah, it's definitely looking bearish, isn't it? There was a second entry short there, but I'm not a massive fan of it. It's a little bit... Yeah, there's a doji there. It's not the best signal bar in the world. It's relatively bearish, but... So we got this leg down. 2 attempts to go higher. So for me, we've got a leg, and I think we're likely to have another leg. So that's what I predict. Let's put that there. Yeah, that's going to take us down to this area here, which is perfect, I think. So that's my target. Certainly there at least. So we're going to leg down, made 2 proper attempts to go higher, and for me, we're coming down. Leg. Wasn't the best setup in the world, but it wasn't terrible either. There will be some people have taken that will have taken that. I thought for a second when that came back, you were a couple of ticks away from losing that one. I was surprised. Sometimes it comes back that close, you almost know it's going to get hit. But what is that looking? It just looked a little bit weak for me, but what I am seeing is it's pushing, and it's clearly retesting the underside here, this support here. And once we got so far down, it was all right there. So if you did take that short there, if I was in that short and took it, I'll be holding for a bit lower, I would. I don't know, maybe 6 points, something like that. Let's have a look. I think you're pretty safe at that. And there, I like to go for 2/3 of it. I think you're good. You may get a bit of a pullback. But, bar was just not the best bar in the world. Nice, that should take you down there now to that measured move, or to the what I've marked there, like that. Nice bullish bar, triggered above it, came back down. That's the next little run there for me. You took that one. Yeah, if I wouldn't have traded yet, I don't know. It's a little bit... What I didn't like is it sat on that line. If that had been just below... Yeah, see the 6 points, no problem. If that had been just below that line and finished bearish, then I may have taken it. Not today, because I'm up nicely, and I would prefer to see two nicer legs, although it's definitely bearish for me. So if that was a little bit more bullish, that the bottom a little bit lower, then that would have been perfect. That was, but I like to go for sort of 2/3 of this move, which would have been the 6 points, and that would have comfortably at that 6 points. So I like doing this because it helps me make decisions. The more I get this right, these prediction, and it's all about learning the markets and understanding what people are thinking. And after that leg down with 2 legs of correction, I can see another leg down. That's what the picture's telling me. And we got another leg down with the break. Relatively okay bearish bar. So there's a leg there and a leg there. So I kind of like to try and take 2/3 of it without getting too greedy. And it comfortably took for 6 points. So the more I do this and get it right, if I'm getting this right 8 times out of 10 and getting 6 points a time, I'd be stupid not to take it. I like it because it was the main bearish. Yeah, you can clearly see it's trying to test that there. It's trying to test it a few times. Then we came down and had another go and a bit of a doji and another one. And then obviously once it starts to go, that's it then, isn't it? It goes. But we're at the bottom. So whether I'd have got out there for maybe 6 points. I tend to like to just get a decent amount, and I'm quite happy with that. Now, 6 points for me would be the equivalent of 3 winning trades, so it's a bonus that. But if I didn't take that, I'd certainly probably come out close to these lows here. Now, it may just push through. Sometimes it pushes through, sometimes it comes back and then eventually works down. But that's quite a decent straight push down, so I'd be inclined to probably just get out, just in case we do get a little bit of a pullback. Sometimes if you wait a bit longer and then you pull it back a bit, you pull your stop back a bit and a bit more, and you end up giving back half of what you've taken. But you just don't know. Sometimes it holds there, sometimes it continues down. Who knows? But look, see how that measured leg's working out. I'll be shocked if that doesn't hit that right to the nearest tick. See, the more you can predict these, it just means you're in tune with the market and you're reading the market well. And what we're doing here really is the only thing we are doing is studying human behaviour. And once you get into studying human behaviour, you learn more and more about people and how they work and how they think. And you get better and better at reading these markets. And you know, at the end of the day, your trading gets better. One more tick, watch. Boom. It just amazes me how accurate they can be. Look at that. I didn't think it pushed down that quick. That's strong. The higher low trap for the longs. They're playing the fell breakout. Yeah. Yeah, so there'd have been longs in there. There'd have been a few stops there, which took it down so far. But you just don't know then, do you? You never quite know when it's going to do this. And some of you guys that may have taken a few points, I just thinking, why the hell didn't I hold on to it? The truth is, you just never know when it's going to do that. But look at that, 15 points. Wouldn't that be nice? 15 points. But, you know, I'm quite a fan of taking something like that and maybe just following it down with your stops. So there, maybe that swing high, and then as it's starting to go down quite steeper, when one bar finishes, just bring it down to the top of the next one, and there, and there, and there, and there. And so far now, you're here. And you've just got taken out by a tick. And you've got 14 points. But Christ, 14 points. That's a brilliant move, that is. I was copying your trade. But once you start learning the market and understanding it, I find I get it better all the time, and I get more and more of an understanding it. And you sort of feel, what's the word? You just feel a bit more confident what's going on. You feel a little bit less lost. Sometimes it does have times where it's bouncing all over the place and you can't read it. And you'll hear Mac, and obviously Mac's a seasoned trader, and he'll be the first one to say you just can't trade this stuff, you got to let it go. And I used to beat myself up because I didn't know what was going on, and now I've just come to the conclusion you're not supposed to know what's going on. That's why we don't trade it, because it's just uncertainty. There's a mixture of people. If you've got 100 people in the room and half are going, I'm going long, half are going, I'm going short, there's an even mix, so it could go either way. So when it starts to go sideways and choppy, your trades realistically then drop down to 50-50, and none of us will base a trade on 50-50, will we? We try to go for the high probability one. So I've just given up trying. So if I take away, if it starts to go sideways, I can forget about all that and think about the good stuff. But I've given up trying to trade this. I used to think, okay, well, there's an higher low or a lower high there, and it'd trigger me and stop me out, because I thought I had to learn to read it. But now I've come to the conclusion, it doesn't matter. Just let it go. Surely nobody knows. Absolutely. You never quite know, do you? Yeah, I like to call it an educated guess. I expected a leg down there. I did, but it could have come down a bit, come back a bit more, come down a bit. You'd have never known it was going to do that, but sometimes it just does. And if you're in the right place at the right time, and you get lucky. But I am a fan of trying to get as many points as I can out without being too greedy. But it would have been nice to follow each one of those bars down there. Once it goes so far, if I'd have seen a really good setup there and I'd have taken that thinking it was going to go down, what I'd have probably done is once it came back and dropped below there, I'd have put my stop there straight away, and that would have secured me, tick below there, that would have secured me 2 points. So I guaranteed myself 2 points there. So my trade is done and dusted. But what I can do then, if I want, is say, okay, so let's bring it down to the next bar when that's finished, and the next bar and the next bar, and that way you're securing a bar at a time, and eventually it'll come and get you. So you'd have been there then, wouldn't you? So you'd have had 14 points there, and you'd have been, that's a week's worth of money, isn't it? Excuse me just a sec. Sorry about that. My daughter off school today. So, but yeah, you never quite know it's going to do that. But that's why I always try, or my plan is now, just to try and get a few more points. But once you get past that first swing and it starts to go down again, get your stop there and guarantee yourself something. So your trade's done, and then if it continues down, just bring your stop down one bar at a time. When that one as soon as that one finishes, bring it down to there. As soon as this one finishes, bring it down to there, and just take it at a bar at a time, and you're in the lap of the gods there. I would have expected it to stop there, but it came down about another 6 points, 7 points. And sometimes you just get a bit of luck. So there it is. A little bit of congestion there. 2 perfect touches. And look at that. Touch, 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 touch. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 touches there. And funnily enough, look where it's bounced. That's not random. Traders that have got out there. But are we going to go up? Not a clue. So, definitely looks like a ranging day. In fact, we don't even really need that, do we? Got a channel down there. Channel break and a drop. Okay, ladies and gents, I'm just going to take a quick 5-minute break. I'm going to make myself a cup of tea. So, not that. So, talk amongst yourselves. I'll be back. Space. Back in 5. Yeah, I'll be about 3 to 5 minutes. Quick cup of tea and I'll be back. Okie doke. Well, we've continued down. No stopping that. No. Okay. Look at this. Okay, I didn't expect that. I thought it would halt around the bottom. So is this going to fail and push back up? God only knows. So touched here, close enough. Okay, let's see what happens now. Is this just a failed breakout of this sort of range? If indeed it is a range, let's have a look. That's pushed up nice and strongly. Now, are we going to stay within this? I could adjust this a fraction. So we know there's some resistance there, don't we? It's funny enough, that little bit of side was there, went right along it. So let's see what happens. Overnight highs. Overnight highs? Overnight lows, you mean? We're just back to the main range, yeah. There was always that possibility it could come back in here, but it may continue down. It's looking really bearish, isn't it? Let's see what happens here. I'd like it to continue down, I would. Much easier to trade a trend. Leg down, 1, 2 legs of correction, and then another leg down, that'd be nice. Okay, so we've pushed in, looks like we're retesting this bottom here. Now, leg down, one attempt to go higher. Let's see if we make another attempt to go higher. So my portfolio would like it to go up. Should we see if we can give it a hint? Go down. Let's see if the power of the mind makes a difference. Down, go down, down, down. No, no, down. One more leg up, you think so? So this is a channel down. We've had a break of it. This is quite bearish for me, so I think there's a good chance we could go low. It depends, obviously. At the moment, we're holding there, so there is a possibility, but this is looking pretty bearish for me. So my thoughts are we're going down. Now, I am aware we've hit that 3 times. I'd like to see this trigger and then continue down, this long trigger. Ooh, go down. Okay, that bulb bar there's trigger, so if it comes down and breaks below there, for me, we're coming down. One more tick below there. Okay, so it's hit that 4 times now. I saw that happen 12 times once. It was at the top of a range, it hit 12 times, exactly the same place. It was weird. It was almost like a little tiny box like that. 12 times right above there. Never quite seen that before. Okay, so quite a strong push up there. Let's see what happens though. Promising, promising. Or is that just going to trigger some longs? Yeah, trying to push it down. It does look like it may go up. Having said that, we've come down. We've had a break. We made one attempt to go higher. A second attempt to go higher. If this comes down and closes below all those, for me, it's coming down 90%. I'm not taking a trade there. I'm not taking a short there just in case. I'd want it below there in all fairness, but a leg up. Channel down, 2 attempts to go. If it pushes through the EMA strong, close below there, we're coming down. I still have a feeling we're coming down now. We'll see. If this triggers below here and carries on down, yeah. If it pushes up bullish, it's a higher low, and then I think we're going up. But this to me is looking like a channel down, 2 attempts to go higher, which is starting to fail. So, we've still got to get through those 4 bars there. Let's have a look. Or it may just do a bit of sideways stuff. In all fairness, if you look on the 4,000 tick chart, it looks like a second entry short there. Second entry short stroke lower high. So if it breaks below there, I can see that going down myself. There is a channel there of sorts. Yeah. I'd say we're likely to break these lows personally. So if we get below here, we're going down. I think we are now anyway, personally. Channel down, 2 attempts to go higher, push through the EMA. We need to get through this area first because it could just go sideways for a time. So I've got myself a nice healthy green tea. Maybe a failure. Maybe a failure. So if you took that bar there thinking we're going high and your stops are below there, they're still intact. A little sideways makes me skeptical, yeah. See, it has gone up and it's touched the bottom of this line multiple times, so we could push up. Having said that, we've had a break of this, made a couple of attempts to go higher, so it really could do either. I'm a bit on the fence as to where I think it's going. After this, you know, obviously rules say most of the time we make a new low, so it's setting up like it could come down, but it's also struggling to get below there and it's sideways, so it could go up, could go down. It's starting to look more bullish to me, in all fairness. Once we get below there, my thoughts otherwise, but I think we may continue up there. Let's have a look. Okay, high and low there. If that's a really nice signal bar and finishes up here, and that may encourage some buyers. See, the 4,000 tick chart now is a failure as well. So we've gone up, trying to go one, strong ties failure. That bar there's triggered. That's triggered. Stops below here. If we get below here, that'll take out enough stops to get buyers out the market. Then I think then there's going to be some sellers coming in below there. So we'll see. So if we can get below this line, I'm thinking short. If we can't, I'm thinking long. And if we end up breaking above here and here, and then we're going long, I think. Just a bit unclear, isn't it? It's time to sit back and drink a tea. Yeah, it certainly is. Okay, that might dictate we're going up. I dare say there's probably going to be some buyers there. Once we get above there, I think it's game over. Then I think we're going up, or at least for another leg. That's the tipping point for me. Let's put that about there. Now, is this going to encourage buyers? Yeah, that's starting to look a bit bullish, I think. We're getting that trying to flicker in. I can see having a quick, strong push at the moment. Once it gets there, I think it's game over then. Trap some shorts, and then off we go. There we go. Now push up. We are slowly working up for me. Once we get above there, that's it, I think. I think it'll be pretty strong. How's it going, bud? I'm very well, mate, thank you. Doing well. Doing okay. I'm in a good place at the moment. Thanks for asking. How are you? Okay. A failure there. Failed second entry short. Trapping a potential short there. Failed second entry short. Trapping that potential short. So if that triggers and gets above here, but like I say, it is a bit trap city, so that could trigger. Come down and take out there. So it's just a bit pie in the sky at the minute. But it did start to look a bit bullish. We're clearly sort of slowly working up. So once we get above that bar then, and then that one, I can see us making that other leg. It's looking like it. But yeah, Ryan says Trap City is. You're stuck in shorts there. That's triggered after there, isn't it? So it is starting to look like it's working up. Once we get above there, that's it for me. I'm certainly not thinking, it's not looking bearish to me now. That's going to pop in a minute, I think. Have a good weekend. So I'm done for the day. Good on you, mate. And in for the weekend. Yeah, excellent. Have a great weekend, mate. I'm going to pour myself a nice large single malt after I finished. Quite a nice productive week, or a nice start into the week. Okay, that's it for me. I think we're going up now. Another leg. That's going to push up for me once we get above here. Yeah, always nice to end Friday on green. Absolutely. Wow, that's interesting. Now, is that going to tip and rank up or what? Or is it coming down? That's looking pretty bearish, I think. Channel down, one attempt to go higher, another strong attempt to go higher. That for me now is coming down. I can see Penguin buying that, I really can. Because he'll be saying we've had one leg down. I mean, that's a clear attempt to push higher. This is just congestion. That's a clear attempt to put higher. We're coming down. Do you have a daily target? Not really. I try and stay away from monetary targets because I think you can set yourself up for fail because, you know, if you're trying to hit a target, it might encourage you to get into slightly more riskier trades, so I tend to avoid that. I have more cut-off points. So if I take 2 losses in a day, that's usually when I'll knock it on the head. It makes perfect sense. If I have 2 winners in a day, probably the same again, knock it on the head. So I have more cut-off times rather than targets, because trouble is with targets, it's up to the market whether it gives you it or not necessarily huge, you know what I mean? So yeah, after that push up and that bearish bar for me, that's coming down. I'm just looking, I'm listening to the Penguin guy saying we've had a leg down. We've made 2 clear attempts. That's the first attempt. This is just a bit sideways. That's the second attempt. He'd go short there. He'd be out there by now. So whether we're going to continue to push, but that was going to take out any possible stops there. But I don't trade his style, so I wouldn't have taken that personally. But for me, it was coming down. It was quite a big bar, wasn't it? Tick below, tick above, 3 3.25, I think, not massive. Leg down. Okay. Now, once we get below here, we're in the lap of the gods now. We've got a yesterday's low down there. I usually mark them, so let's put that there because that may cause a hurdle. Okay, so are we now likely to continue on down? See, it looks like it's ranging, is it? There's the bottom of the range, if indeed it is a range. We've pushed below it. We've made 1 attempt to go through it, a second attempt to go through it, and we've pushed back strongly through it. The bottom of this is so. I don't think we'll push up again. I can see some downward stuff now. So I'll tell you what is looking possible. If you look where that finishes and you look where that finishes, if you join those 2 together, let's see what happens. So if you join that together with that together and there, let's see where this finishes. Friggin' miles away. I thought that might fit that, actually. I was trying to be a bit too smart for my own good there. It's not terrible. So there is a possibility. I actually kind of like that. I was trying to be a bit too cocky there. I fell on me sword a bit. Touch. So I think bearish, and the reason I think bearish is because we've broken below the low of the day. We've pushed back up. We've gone sideways. We've tried to get up. We've hit a nice big bearish bar, and that's obviously encouraged some sellers in there, and it's pushed back 1 leg, a little bit of sideways. It's stalling a bit, but I can see it coming down. So that's certainly a possibility, I think. But we got 1 leg down. Once we get below this, well, where can we go then? This is the next target, isn't it? And we are just about coming up to the lows of the day. Is it the Israel war driving the market down? I don't really know, to be honest with you, mate. I mean, if you look at the start of the day, it was looking kind of nice, wasn't it? What seemed to trigger it was that news. We had that news, didn't we? Which dropped. We were sort of pushing up. We had the news which dropped. So there's 2 schools of thought I have, and I mentioned this the other day, so you might remember. Sometimes when we have a drop, we recover quick and carry on our normal day. And other times, we recover a bit and then slowly start to continue down for the rest of the day. So I don't know really. Obviously the news sent it down, so it's probably got something to do with it. I don't really know. I don't know enough about it all really to. But I know there's concerns around. There's concerns that America are going to get involved in it. Maybe the UK. The trouble is that whole area really is it's sort of like a ticking time bomb. Really, they don't want the Israelis there. Now, if Israel get a bit too heavy, they're on about this ground force. If it gets a bit too heavy, it could pull Iran into it. It could possibly pull Syria into it. It could pull Iraq into it. There are lots of places around the Middle East that aren't fans of Israel, so you just don't know what it's going to kick off. I believe the US just sent a big carrier a bit closer. I wouldn't be surprised if there was some British warships sort of headed in that direction. But the trouble is, it is a very volatile area. So the trouble is, if you've got money and you've got investments and all this sort of stuff, maybe money in crypto, and you've got that looming, you just don't know what it's going to do to things, and people just get a little bit nervous, and rightly so, and start to think, let's pull the money out, or let's I want to see where this goes first. So it partly is, but I don't know enough about it all really to give you a sort of an educated answer. But what I can see is we started off looking quite nice, and obviously after that news we had that initial push down, which wasn't huge, and then we've just, like I say, sometimes we'll recover quickly. Sometimes it's the big moves, the big drops, where we recover almost all of it, and the slightly less moves that may be sending on a slow downward trajectory, which it's seeming like it's doing. But and that's why my money is going into gold or something. Yeah, I don't think you ever really go wrong with gold, do you? Mind you, they say Bitcoin's a digital gold, isn't it? The trouble is, people have a lot of money in what is this? There's a lot of money in Bitcoin. Was it $1 trillion or something? Maybe a bit less now. It's a lot of money invested in things like cryptos, and you just never quite know. Cryptos are still relatively new. They've only sort of been around since the sort of 2008, so they're still relatively new. So you never quite know what something like this could happen. It depends how bad it gets. You just don't know. If the US and the UK get involved, you just never know where it's going to go. So it just makes a little bit of uncertainty, and that's why people just tend to think maybe I should pull it out. And once things start to go, it can. US dollar is going up to, I think, the DAX. Run away from gold, never made a dime with it. Yeah, I don't think it's a case of making money. I think it's a keeping your value, isn't it? I mean, you're going to stick it in your bank. It's not really going to make anything, is it? It's relatively safe, I think, in gold, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, I've never really thought about putting money in gold. I've had a few shares here or there, but I've got a little bit in crypto, not a lot. But I don't know. See, okay, so we've got a touch here, 2 legs up, possible touch. I'm a bit unsure here as to what to do. But if we stop here and continue down, then I'll be looking for shorts. But here at the moment, I'm not sure. We've come up, we've bounced along the bottom of that range. We've pushed through. We've come up once, we've come up a second time, and that's triggered there. So that might not be a bad short. But at the moment, it's a little bit choppy, and I'm going a bit careful. But if I had to put money on it, it's pushed up, tried twice to get through this. But it could just sort of, be a little bit like that. So you might get a short here, and it might. So it's not clear to me at the moment. I'd like to see it bounce a few times and then work down, and then my mind will start thinking, mainly thinking about shorts. Let's put that to there. That's all I'm prepared to do. But it is holding here quite well, so. But no, it is a little bit unnerving, isn't it? You know, it's things like the kids, the innocent people that that concern me, that get dragged into these wars, really. Men fighting men, and usually the people that suffer the most are the innocent, you know, the women and the kids, especially the kids. Nothing worse than seeing, you know, people dragging bodies of kids out of rubble. It's horrible, especially when you're a parent. You can't imagine being, you know, living in a place like that with kids. Terrifying. But unfortunately, always usually the innocents that bear the brunt of it, really, and suffer the most. You know, it's always amazed me how cheap human life is in some of these places around the world. And it does make me realise how lucky I am sometimes. So, bearish bar there. It's clearly struggling to get above there. I'm still not thinking about going short yet because it's a little bit confusing to me. So if you'd have taken that short, that's going to get stopped out. Quick little spike up there, which tells me there may have been some shorts trapped there. Trouble is, that looks more like a bull bar, a bull flag. Push up, a little bit of upward stuff, and then another leg. So it's just a bit unclear. If I bring the 4,000 tick chart in, that's looking a bit clearer. We've got this leg down, one attempt to... So we've pushed down and made a new low, so that could be another second entry. It may just make it a lower low. So there may be, it looks like there's, judging by this, there's a good possibility of some continuation. I actually like that. There's a second entry short, nice bearish bar there. So what does it look like? It doesn't look as good on this, but... certainly bearish, that. The 4,000 tick chart makes it a bit clearer. So if that finishes, the bar it's on now on the 4,000 tick chart, if that finishes bearish right down the bottom, yeah, it's a bit negative, that. So if it finished bearish for me, then that would encourage buyers then to take that a bit lower. But we are making lower highs still, so but a little bit choppy sideways, so you just never quite know, do you? So best to stay out of it. Leg up. It does look like a little bit of a bull flag. Leg up, a little bit of upward stuff and sideways, and then a matching leg at the top. So there is a possibility, depending on how that finishes, that there may be try to go one side, a possible triple test. Leg and a leg might take us close to this, maybe a triple test and then continuation. But excuse me. In fact, do you know what? I'm going to knock it on the head for the day. I've had a really good day. Nice 4 and 3/4 points off that. If you weren't around there, I took that on the engulfing. We touched here, touched there, touched there, touched there. It was working up beautifully for me. And I took that one. We had one leg down, one leg. So a beautiful measured leg. 2 bars finished nice there. We had a push up, little bit of a pullback. There was 2 bars which got triggered there, and a nice high low. Now I took that on the engulfing bar, 1 tick above there. For me, if that pushed up through there, it would take out them stops and then worked out nicely. It actually went up for I think I took 4.75. So I went a tick above here and it went up for about, just around about 7.5 points, something like that. So nice trade that. And I liked it that. It was a nice trade. I love the way it triggered and then turned, and that's why I was ready to put my order right above there, and that would have been a pretty low risk trade. So stop would have been there, and I think I put it 1 tick above there. So maximum 2 point risk in today's market. The way things are at the moment, 2 points is all right. ATR's 2.8, so normally with a tick above, tick below, be 2.5 points. So it was a 2. How's the weather over there, Kate? Do I really need to let you know? Do I? It is at the moment 11 degrees and pissing down, basically. So yeah, it's not pleasant. We've definitely sort of gone slightly more on the autumnal side, but yeah, typical UK weather, pissing down. You get born with the wet weather in this country. They give you a little care package. With a wet weather jacket when you're born in this country. But yeah, it's pretty bleak. It's not really been a very good summer, really. We had some great weather from around May to June, but July and August was absolute naff. Are you in Ireland, are you? What part? Have I asked you this before? You in the north or south? You south, are you, Kev? But yeah, I'm sort of Midlands and you're probably just west, aren't you? But yeah, it's a bit naff here. It's been raining all morning and raining yesterday in the south. Okay, I got you. But yeah, we've got the cold weather on the way now. So, in fact, I believe somewhere in Scotland it went down to -3 last night. So, I think any time we're going to start having our first frosts, aren't we? Actually, I kind of like the UK weather in a strange way, because when you've had a really hot summer and you start to get that nice fresh cool air, and I kind of like it, and then when you've had a cold winter and spring kicks in, you get that lovely warm. So I kind of like the fact that we got a mixture of weathers, because I'd hate to live in a sort of hot country where it's I say I hate. There's me talking about my dream place is Dubai, but we don't have air conditioning in the UK really, so obviously it'd be different. But I kind of like that we have a nice mixture of weather. But when we have a nice bit of snow, there's nothing nice walking out and crisp mornings with the snow crunching under your feet. So, but I think we're going to expect a frost pretty soon, I'd say, in the coming days. But yeah, as I say, Scotland had a -3 somewhere last night, which is a bit of a dip, isn't it? So there you go, folks. I started this at the PA a couple of days ago. Excuse me a sec. 2 days ago. So one trade yesterday, one trade today, both winners. $100 yesterday, $237.50. Well, just under after. So I had 2 points yesterday, 4 3/4 today. So nice 2-day start. And it's the first time I've reduced my risk down to one contract. And I have to say, it really does reduce the stress. And if it reduces the stress, it'll reduce the emotions, and I think you got more chance of not doing something stupid. And I think sometimes, see, if I'd have taken that trade with 2 points, I may have not had the confidence to wait a bit. I may have come out there earlier. So I think in one sense, by lowering the risk, I'll have more confidence to hold on to a trade. So I'll probably end up making the same sort of money. But if I'd have traded 2 contracts, I'd have probably taken 2 points there and out before the top. So I probably would have been slightly worse off. But there you go. So what's going on here? 1, 2, 3, maybe a triple test that. I'm not taking it because it's a massive bar, in all fairness. But a big bar like that, I think it's usually a sign we're quite likely going to be coming down if it ends up bearish. But it's 17 ticks, wasn't it? Yeah, tick below, tick above, 19 ticks. It's about 5 points, isn't it? Trouble is we are working up and price is holding it, but usually a big bearish bar like that after it's hit 3 times, I would think it would more likely now continue on down. But we've had this leg, we've had 1, 2, 3 attempts to go higher. Clearly looks like a triple test. So if that triggers, I think it's probably likely going to go down. There may be some long stops there, maybe some here, probably some here. So if we can get down there, we might see a good strong push. Let's just wait and see. I'm just going to save my chart. Let's see if this holds. It hasn't triggered anyway, so I don't know. Maybe not. I was surprised when that finished. Okay, so that's me done for the day. So it's been a good start to the week. So I'm going to do this now so you can see. What I'm going to do is I'm going to import my trades over to... I want you to start seeing this because this is something useful to my trader sync. So whether anybody uses this, I don't know, but to get your trades into here, you click on executions, right click, click export, and I need to change this to not Excel, the one below it, a CSV file. Click save. So I've got that saved now, so I can get that out of the way. Let's just throw this over there. So now I can click add trade. There's my trade from yesterday. Import. That's my account. It's NinjaTrader, so I've got to choose my file, and my file is 13th today. That one there, and click import trades or trade. Okay, successfully imported 1 trade. So if I go into my dashboard, you'll see 2 trays, the one from yesterday and the one from today. So my balance is, for the total, I'm up $337. In fact, it's shown a bit less there. I haven't taken off, I've got to put in my commissions. I haven't got it to deduct those 2 commissions. Or has it deducted it? Maybe. I'll have to check on that. But yeah, it just shows my trades, what date it was, what it was on, entry, exit, my return, long, short commission, and the date it was. And there's the start of my equity curve up there. So pretty simple to export that. But this is something that's going to give me a bigger overall picture of how I'm trading, my trading pattern. So happy days. So I think that's about 7 winning trades in a row now over the last few days. Let me just have a wee check. So that's good. So 1, 2. So 1 today, 1 yesterday, 2, 1 the day before, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Was that 9? 8 wins. 8 wins in a row. So that's a nice sign. So happy days. So when you take your time and do things right, you do slowly grow. I think the trick is to take your time, and that's where I've faltered really. I've tried to rush and grow too big too quick. And the trouble is, if you're taking risks and going for big points and a little bit of silly gambling there, it's only going to sting you. So I've just had to just reel back, reduce to 1 contract, and in 2 days, you know, that's what, $330. 20 days, which is a month, there's a potential $3,000. You do 2 months and you're up nice there, and you can start thinking about taking payments when you're up nice and then slowly build. But I've just decided just do 1 PA for now, because if you are struggling, you're taking silly risks and you blow 1, you just blow multiple ones. So there you go. So that's me for the week. I'll be back at the same time on Monday. So I hope you've had some green today. I have a feeling some of you had, so good on you. So have a great weekend. Stay safe. and hopefully we'll all be rested and raring to go on Monday. So take it easy, have a great weekend, and I will see you all on Monday. Bye for now.